like you'll ever get paid to play video games, they said. Now you're players, creators, fans, all in one huge and growing community. We know that gaming's many faces can truly make a positive impact. We're there with you, whether you're making the next great game or just looking forward to playing it. Squad up, we're Barclays.
UKLC is presented by Barclays and Curry's PC World.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the UKLC. We have rapid fired through our first two games of the day, and now we are on to Barrage Academy versus Munster Rugby Gaming. Before the break, we did actually ask in the interview versus Rifty, like, who are the top players who have kind of really jumped out to you and you know, being the people you want to watch? And he answered with Aragon and Beartree, but there is another top laner in there that has also jumped out to me, and that is DBL for Munster Rugby Gaming Academy. I think he has had some pretty sleeper good plays. Also, No Name in the Jungle has been another player that has really jumped out to me.
Yeah, I think Munster Rugby Gaming Academy has seemed to have gone from strength to strength from the beginning of the split. I think there were some questions raised about some of the players like DBL maybe in week 2, but since then they have looked very clean. And I actually specifically have loved watching Blue Spirits grow. This is a guy that essentially went from playing 1v1s in a Red Bull tournament last year to essentially becoming you know, a UK or mid-tier UK level AD carry and has, you know, has aspirations to do even better than that. So Blue Spirits has definitely been something, as well as Diva being kind of most people's pick for best mid laner in the entire league. Munster Rugby Gaming, you know, I think they are up there with London and Enclave realistically as contenders for the UKLC title.
I mean, when I did my power rankings, I did put Munster at the top. I am very much sold on this team, especially off the back of No Name last week on the Lee Sin and Jungle. I didn't really have that many questions about him, but any kind of worries seem to go answered up there. Obviously for Munster, this is versus Barrage, who are currently second from bottom, so they're not having particularly the greatest run of it. So let's look over at Barrage. What are we looking at? What do they need to do to get a win over, you know, one of our top teams in the league?
Well, Barrage have got two really standout players to me. One is KDO, and the other is Afro Boy. Afro Boy has had questions raised about him, but when he plays his game, he looks solid. You also have to note that they did have that week in week 3 where they went 2-0, so it's very and they went 2-0 versus London and obviously Bulldog. But you know, beating London is no small feat. So when Barrage are on their game, that is when, you know, I think that this team is very scary. But honestly, I think it comes down to KDO and Afro Boy. Those are the guys that need to have the games to sort of dig the wins out for Barrage Academy. Whereas Munster, they have multiple threats, like you said. And I still think that no matter how well we've seen Barrage play in the past versus people like London, this is clearly a Munster Rugby Gaming Academy focused and favoured matchup.
And this is actually a very rough week for Barrage. I'm just looking at like the games they've got to play. They're playing versus Envision tomorrow, so another one of our top teams in the league. So it is a rough week for Barrage, but if they can pull a win out here versus Munster, maybe the momentum going forward is going to be enough. I just kind of tracking where and who everyone's playing. Munster play M&M tomorrow, so we actually have a really good matchup for them tomorrow as well to play versus another team sitting currently at the top. So I don't know. I'm so excited to see how these next few days are going to play out for Munster because of how close the standings have been, and there's so much up in the air. So for them, a nice and easy win over Barrage is going to be important here. And Barrage, you know, maybe a momentum win is what they're looking for. We'll have to find out. Anyway, guys, we're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back Champ Select in the game. So we will see you after this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. I don't know why. The producer told me we were getting ready to go in, and I just was not ready there. All right, we're into Champ Select. We were both just in our own worlds. All right, so we're into Champ Select, and so far we've had Diva's Twisted Fate taken away. That instantly pulls out a Kalista ban. As Barrage go, we know what? We're not dealing with that. We don't want to have that.
I'm not surprised. KDO is a great Kalista player. I would also not be surprised to see an Ezreal ban. Those are the two carries that KDO has really performed on. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Munster Rugby Gaming Academy ban out those two particular AD carries. It's going to be Trundle, which is a good Afro Boy pick. Syndra on blue side is interesting, but that just speaks to me that they don't have the flexibility in their roster to utilize her.
Yeah. Does mean, obviously, it's a flex pick for maybe they just don't want to deal with. We know Diva and Blue Spirits actually do play that. Trundle taken away from Afro Boy, one of his better champions, and the Fresh is going to get removed. Does mean that like that Ezreal has been left open, or the Varus or something like that could be picked up for Barrage. So question is what do Munster want to deny? Because they also could look just to deny another jungle pick from Afro Boy and just force him down the pool, because you were saying he was a player that really stood out to you. So we'll have to see. But for now, it's the set.
Yeah, set gets taken away here. It's something that Akers has played a significant amount of. And I guess it could flex over to Afro Boy in the jungle as well. Haven't seen Alpaca play it as a support, so it would be more between top and jungle flexibility. But first pick is available. Ezreal. They have the Graves, which is an Afro Boy. One of the picks where one of the games that they actually got a win was Afro Boy's Graves, and they're going to prioritize that now. There is, I think, No Name is capable of a Nidalee, so we could potentially see a Nidalee response from Munster Rugby Gaming Academy.
Sometimes we've seen the Shyvana as well as an answer. I don't think we've ever seen that, though. So I feel like the Nidalee is the more likely one if they're going to go for something that can kind of match the Graves in the jungle. But for now, I think they'll probably avoid the jungle altogether and look to get himself a powerful bot lane with a Karma locked in for Jeppe. This could just be a Karma Ezreal bot lane for themselves. Basically calling out, okay, if you're going to play a Felios, we'll just outshove you.
Yeah, I mean, with the Karma lock-in, it would make sense. It denies the Ezreal from KDO as well. It's a pick that when KDO has played well, it has been on the Ezreal. So it's more of a denial as well as giving Blue Spirits something that... yeah, this makes sense. This is great because this is actually putting pressure on KDO now, who has been one of the big performers for Barrage. We talked about it. Afro Boy and KDO, if they're on their champions, like that is how Barrage gets a win. Well, Afro Boy's got his. We'll have to see if KDO can get back onto something where he can be just as effective.
The Varus is open still. The Aphelios is open still. So there are still some AD carries up in the wings. We'll have to see whether or not they want to go for that. For now, the Kog'Maw is getting locked in. Most likely going to be a mid lane pick for Wojux here and get him something that can kind of just perma-clear versus Diva. And now for Barrage, what do they want to pick up?
Pick Lulu. Like, if I'm picking Kog'Maw now, I personally would probably be thinking about picking Lulu into the Karma matchup. I mean, I guess because
it's mid lane,
you have the flexibility.
Though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it could
I guess you at least have the flex because then you can go Aphelios or something. Yeah, actually,
you have the flexibility, right? Because I feel like if you just pick a mid lane Kog'Maw, I feel like blind, you're kind of asking for it versus someone like Diva who has like LeBlanc. Like we know Diva can play like an insane LeBlanc, so
yeah.
I feel like if you just slamming Kog'Maw, there's the Nidalee for No Name. I guess you ban LeBlanc here if you're Barrage. That would be my take.
We'll see what they want to take away. It's over to Munster first of all, and everywhere's been matched, so we are looking at mid laners and top laners as our bans here. So I would like actually to see this mid lane pool get pinched. I think Diva has a lot of assassins he's quite good at, but the Ornn makes sense. Akers has pretty much exclusively played that. He likes to play neutral top lanes. I believe he also plays the Maokai, so we could just see an Ornn Maokai rotation from Munster, and then they can blind pick themselves a comfortable top that can kind of deal with whatever is left open in the pool. And that's going to be the LeBlanc taken away from the Diva. So you kind of hit the nail on the head about that. Yeah, I think I'd like to see a Maokai here, personally.
I think Maokai, as Rifty has proven, is a pretty solid blind top laner when played correctly. So that would make a lot of sense in terms of secondary bans here. If you're looking to put Akers in a bit of look to put Akers off kilter just a little bit. But, I expected some of these mid lane bans coming out versus Diva. That, to me, speaks like it's going to be a mid lane Cogmore, especially if you're banning the LeBlanc. Oriana might be another ban that you consider at this point in time, just to make sure that there isn't like another solid mid lane pick. Obviously, banning the Gangplank is great because he's essentially a really, really good weak side blind top laner.
Yeah. I actually, now I think about it, I actually really like that. With the Volley Bear removed, DBL could just take the Maokai for himself, and then they get a counter pick mid. So we'll have to see what they want to go for here, but I actually quite like that, the Gangplank. Kind of forgot that was a champion. I'd
be surprised if this is Cogmore AD carry. Like I know it's, especially with Nautilus. That would be my only surprise. I think it's still something that you should consider because of the. I think it's something you should definitely consider because of the fact they picked it so early on into the draft, and that's probably why they're going for sort of a safe mid lane pick like the Zoe, which can do well into the Cogmore regardless. But I don't think you want to give away your top lane counter pick for DBL into Akers because given what you see, you should already be thinking that you've got a mid lane counter pick, right? So I don't think you want to give away your top lane counter pick as well because you'll have had a really solid. Yeah, exactly. There you go. The Varus gets locked in. This means you just have like an insane draft because you get solo lane counter picks, which is great.
DBL does play the Urgot, so could actually see something like that come out here. We'll have to see what Akers wants to go for. The top lane pool has been thinned out fairly heavily here. Kind of thinking what has been left open. We have seen some players pick up the Scion in the last few weeks of the UKLC. It looks like it is just going to be that Maokai. Some of it can kind of just soak up some of the pressure here. And DBL, just looking down at what's been left open for him, we could actually potentially see that Urgot come out from him. But this, if he goes for this, now I like this. I really like this.
Yeah, Kled would be, if he does lock it in, Kled would be a really nice way of putting pressure on Akers on this
Maokai.
This Maokai. Obviously, from what we saw previously on the Rifty matchup, Aatrox also has a pretty solid matchup here, but Kled is just very similar in that respect too. This is a very good red side draft for Munster Rugby Gaming because they've got two solo lane picks that they wanted, and I actually worry a little bit. The poke potential, right? The poke damage, if Barrage gets rolling is insane, especially because it's a very cheap build for Varus. You get to spike super early on. As soon as you hit level 6 for Cogmore, you're going to start being a bit of a nuisance. But I'm just a little worried that their solo laners are not going to get the space that they need. Versus a Kled and versus a Zoe, a Maokai and a Cogmore, they're going to have a bad time.
So when you're playing Barrage Academy's comp here, you have a lot of poke, and poke comps are great when they're ahead. They feel so oppressive, but if they fall behind, they feel next to useless. And when you're dealing with the Ezreal, which after kind of his first two items just starts to get harder and harder spiking, he's shifted away from like the hyper carry days where we used to have like the likes of the Jinx and things like that would, just pop off in the late game once they got kind of like 5 items and just became monsters. But Ezreal was this kind of really irritating hyper carry in the sense that you can't even get on him. He just does a stupid amount of damage. If you go the Iceborne build as well, he has almost infinite kiting. He's really hard to deal with. And when you got the Zoe as well, both of these teams actually do have a fair amount of poke. So now I think about it, whoever falls behind here is going to really suffer to the poke. And whoever gets ahead is going to be able to be incredibly oppressive in sieges.
Yeah, but Ezreal is a bot lane that gets 3 items and becomes like an insane burst damage dealing tank. That's the problem with Ezreal right now. He's just so strong in that regard, and they have so much individual pickoff potential. Like Zoe, Nidalee, Ezreal. Like you get a Zoe bubble, or you just find one person out in the open, they're gonna die. Like the only person that wants to soak that kind of damage is Maokai, and Kled there is to nullify Maokai getting tanky quickly. This just feels like a really good Munster Rugby Gaming draft. I feel like Barrage, like the idea behind Barrage's comp is really good because you have the Maokai who's going to create space, going to make it difficult for you to get onto the Cogmore and the Varus. You have the CC from the Nautilus, the peel there. But the problem is that the laning phase is probably not going to allow them to get to the position where this composition can actually work in a full-on fight.
We'll have to see. We are loading through onto the Summons Rift for our 3rd game of the day. I am very excited for this one, actually. I do like both the comps, but like you said, the problem is are they going to be able to get out of the laning phase? Are they going to be able to deal with that? DBL should actually be a little bit more effective into the Maokai, unlike last game where, you kind of have to rely on hitting those sweet spots on the Aatrox. But with the Bear Trap on the rope, applying Grievous Wounds, it's instantly going to be useful versus Akers' passive. I don't know. The laning phases do feel rough now you've brought it up.
And Diva is a mid laner, you know, of sufficient caliber, where I feel like Wojux hasn't been a standout performer for Barrage. He has actually been one of the weaker sides or the weaker links in this roster. And I think Diva, you know, on a pick like Zoe versus someone as immobile as Cogmore, like I really feel that that this is going to be a struggle for Wojux in the laning phase. And then obviously Akka's very much a tank duty player going against DBL, who, as you said, has started to impress us, started to be a name that we wanted to look towards on the top side of the map. That is also going to be a rough laning phase. That's my worry. And obviously Afroboy on Graves, not really a ganking jungler, and he's not exactly going to be able to farm and out farm his opponent because No Name is on Nidalee, and she's not even able to back here. He has to, you know, he took a couple of spears, having to pop a potion early on. That's actually pretty significant. This is already a minor advantage to No Name.
It's incredibly rough. They are going to look to find something onto Jefe, but Alpaca actually misses the hook. Now the Aftershock worn off. He's going to take a lot of damage, and Blue Spirit's just looking to run him down, stacking up the passive already. The flashes come down, and Jefe just flashes forward. They do land the hook, but that could just be Alpaca's demise here. First blood to Blue Spirits. One more Q, and it'll be a double. KDO is just about able to survive, but that is such a rough start for Barrage.
Oh, this is not what you wanted if you're Barrage. Already the bot lane has gone massively the way of Munster Rugby Gaming Academy. KDO forced to pop those corrupting potions. He's going to do a little bit of damage here onto Blue Spirits, but Blue Spirits has got plenty of sustain with the biscuits in lane as well. This is not the start that you would have wanted. Munster Rugby Gaming off to a really, really good start in this game.
Well, that's your Conqueror his passive. The longer that fight goes on, the worse it gets in the bot lane at level 1. Just stacking up the passive, got the Conqueror, he's got healing, he's got extra damage to work with, and a very, very early base for Blue Spirits. Instantly into a Cole and a Fairy Charm, just so he has a little bit more mana to work with. Is DBL actually losing out on a fight early with Akkas? Obviously does have a pseudo health bar when he gets Skull back, so it won't be too bad. It looks like they're actually looking for maybe an early dive onto Akkas.
That would be
we'll take the spear.
Impressive.
So, Kled is quite good at tower diving, as long as he's got Scar.
Mm-hmm.
Would be a little optimistic, I guess.
Yeah, this to me feels like, I think he was just looking for something to do while the River Scuttler spawned on the top side of the map. But yeah, this is exactly the same as you saw with Rifty. Actually, the level 2 of Maokai is actually really strong, with just like the ability to twisted advance Q. The level 3 is also really strong. Like Maokai's a very good level 3 champion, but versus most bruisers, versus most top laners, that's where his trading potential ends in terms of outclassing his opponent.
Well, crowds have been traded up across the board. Now Afroboy's looking to come into a gank here. Alpaca might look for the hook. Blue Spirits has the cleanse and the flash. They are just going to land it onto Jefe, who gets ignited and taken out. Afroboy's able to get the kill.
That was a good gank from Afroboy. He saw the area that he could exploit. There was very limited vision control on the bot side of the map. Alpaca being able to lock up Jepe, who has not got that flash available, used it in the previous engage. And that's, you know, if there was one player outside of KDO who you really want to do well, it's Afroboy.
Absolutely. And once again, we go back to top lane, and DBL's getting dismounted by Akkas. So the early damage on this Maokai is nothing to scoff at.
Oh, I completely agree. You do have to worry if you're DBL. You don't want to get caught out here. Looks like with that bot lane gank, No Name was able to take the Gromp away, it looks like. So he stole the Gromp away from Afroboy here. Afroboy is waiting on that top side of the map. He's able to dash over the wall. He will get spotted in the ward, though. DBL will see him.
Yeah,
decides to
get
too close.
No Name actually was around, but he based just before Afroboy showed. So they are just going to get this base off here for DBL. The wave was kind of stuck in a really irritating spot for DBL early, just because he wasn't able to escape the wave kind of being underneath the towers. He couldn't really trade too effectively with Akkas and like get those longer extended trades for himself. Goes to base, gets himself 3 long swords, and he's going to make his way back towards top lane. Blue Spirit's taking a lot of damage. His Alpaca will force him to flash away as the arrow comes in, and now it looks like Munster just looking to turn this. No Name looking for the spear, but the teleports are coming in, and Blue Spirit's able to find the kills. The teleports are being used on both sides. Akers jumps in as No Name looks to secure another kill for himself, and Munster just mopping up. Akers has to flash away as DBL pulls him back with a bear trap on a rope, and Diva finds the kill.
Oh, no. I mean, those are some really good trades for Barrage in the bottom side of the map. That was really well played from Alpaca. He was aggressive. He was putting pressure on Blue Spirits, who'd lost the arcane shift. And then No Name came down. They committed the teleports, but they weren't able to find the kills. And that was a very, very rough 4v4 to take on that bottom side of the map. Plus the fact that Diva roamed, and you know, Cogmore is not a roaming bot laner. Sorry, a roaming mid laner. Cogmore is not going to be the kind of mid laner that you're expecting to do ridiculous roams. Great little dodge from Blue Spirit there, and this is what we were afraid of. You know, the solo lane difference, the fact that Diva is able to roam down when Wojux is going to be stuck farming in lane for a very long time to come. This is the period of the game where Munster Rugby Gaming Academy can really look to get ahead and put pressure on their opponents, and they already have done.
Yeah, they really have done. Now looks like Afroboy's looking for something onto Blue Spirits. Blue Spirits got the cleanse, doesn't have the flash. It's just going to shift away, and Afroboy finds himself a cheeky shutdown. I am liking Afroboy's gang spot lane. He does seem to read and find a good opportunity for himself, and this will result in some plates for Barrage early. A little bit early to go for the swap still, though.
Yeah, just some awkward backs from Munster Rugby Gaming Academy in general. Like, they had a huge wave crashing bot lane, and Blue Spirits felt like there was no way that he could back in that scenario because he didn't want to miss out on the experience and the gold that would provide him, but he had no support. Like, No Name was not there to support him. For some reason, Jeppe had backed. Like, I don't know why Jeppe had backed at that point, but he had, and so it was a really easy dive opportunity with the wave crashing bot lane. I'm not really sure what the thinking was behind the back timings there for Munster Rugby Gaming Academy. If Blue Spirits should have called out that he was, or Blue Spirits should have called out that he wanted support on that bot lane tier 1 if he wanted to farm, because otherwise it was just way too easy for them to look for the gank.
Yeah, and he gets punished for it. That is the second kill they've been able to find in the bot lane off Afroboy. Is DBL is taking these trades versus Akers, but they're already going to get the dismount off and use the Nature's Grasp to try and pin him in. The arrow from KDO is a little bit too wide, and in comes No Name, and the backup, the bubble's on, and No Name's able to find the kill. Diva looks to jump in with a portal jump. The Alpaca now can fish for that hook, and that might just be a dead Zoe. Got the flash available. The Spell Thief proc will go down, and the movement speed you get, it's just too much. Munster not going for the swap, they're just going to go for the plates, and this could just be a Rift Herald picked up for Barrage.
Yeah, actually, this is pretty good from Barrage. They're playing the macro game really nicely off the back of that bot lane dive. Immediately, Afroboy turns for the Rift Herald, and actually the momentum's starting to swing back in Barrage's favor based off neutral objectives as a whole. Even though that fight didn't exactly go their way, Diva again was the first to the roam, which was really nice. Still managing to keep level in CS as well versus Wojux in the mid lane. But, you know, what exactly are Munster Rugby Gaming Academy getting apart from a couple of plates on the bottom side of the map? You know, we may even be able to drop this Rift Herald top for the first guaranteed tower of the game.
Yeah, looks like that's what they're going to do. Afroboy's already summoned it up, clearing out the wave. This third plate will fall, and that is a guaranteed first turret of blood over to the side of Barrage. And KDO, you know, he had a rough start to the lane. Might as well hold that, though, as Wojux getting jumped onto. No Name's able to miss the spear. And Wojux will just about get out on the Cogmore.
Look, I mean, I'm all ready to praise Munster Rugby Gaming Academy, but the way that they played the last 3 minutes of this game, it absolutely baffles me. They just gave up so much for free when they really didn't need to. Their mid laner was strong, their jungler was strong. They, for some reason, committed Blue Spirits and Jeppe back down bot after that bot lane dive. Maybe it was because they were just afraid of too many waves getting missed, but they should have just met them on the rotate. They are strong in the skirmish right now. You're dealing with an AP Cogmore who hasn't even picked up his first item, who only had tier at that stage in the game. Like, Munster Rugby Gaming Academy made some very poor decisions around that Rift Herald rotate.
Yeah, it was a bit of a questionable one. Have to see what the punish will be outside of that first turret blood, if they can find anything from that, because KDO has now kind of been able to swing himself back into this game. He's got the Umbral Glaive. But it looks like they're already looking for the place. The flash comes out. Chains are on. Not going to get the spread in. They're trying to soak up as much damage as possible, but Blue Spirits will find the kill. The Zonyas gets used, and that will be the double kill for Blue Spirits. KDO just gets picked off over aggressing in the bot lane with his support.
I mean, this is the difference between an AP Cogmore and a Zoe. Like, where has Wojux been outside of mid? Nowhere. Like, he's just been farming and pushing. Yeah, base and pushing waves mid, right? D.Va has been there to support every side lane pressure push from No Name, especially. Like, No Name, D.Va, roaming squad, this mid jungle combo, they have been so impactful in getting their side lanes ahead, whereas Wojux has done diddly squat. Like, has done nothing because he's on AP Cogmore. And that's the problem with this pick. Like, it has strength in theory, but it just has massive weaknesses when it comes to the laning phase.
Also, he's not really that far ahead in CS. It's very small. Charge is coming in, and actually it looks like we're looking for a fight. Akka's instantly going to get taken out. Fails the flash. The bubble goes a little bit wide, but Alpaca just gets popped by Blue Spirit. It's a 2-for-none in favor of Munster. KDO still trying to contest with Afro Boy at the back. The health bars are low, and Wojux can look to try and poke out over the wall, but D.Va does have that flash. Drake's going to reset. If they continue to lay the Arcane Barrage is down into the pit, and D.Va has to flash away. Dragon's going to fall, and there is no contest from Barrage.
There's nothing they could do there, though. It was 3 versus 5. The best case scenario was poke out and hope you could get some kind of ultimate grave steal off the back of it as well. They may, with this push in the bot lane, be able to pick up the tier 1, but No Name is around, ready to clear those waves out if he absolutely has to. He'll throw a couple of spears here and there. He's just going to threaten his presence. The teleport's coming through.
Yeah, DBL actually may buy him up a little bit more than he can chew. The home guard movement speed actually may buy him out, but Akka's looks to chase him down, and Wojux is onto the flank. He can't joust over the walls as DBL gets slowed down by the slip and slide. The CC is on. The hook is there, and DBL does get the pistol over the wall, but the collateral damage from Afro Boy is just too much. Down goes DBL.
Yeah, not sure about that teleport, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't think anybody was sure about that teleport, to be completely fair.
Bit of a questionable one.
I think just the threat of No Name at the tower was enough to potentially dissuade them from going for the bot lane tier 1. But they felt like they had to commit more, and they give away another minor edge to Barrage Academy.
Munster are going to get some plates solo onto Blue Spirits in the top lane. Meanwhile, KDO and Alpaca are shoving in the bot lane. They've almost got themselves a turret trade out here, but with the first turret blood and the amount of just flat gold that KDO's getting, you were hitting on, after champ select, how effectively the Varus can spike with how cheap his items build is. This is really nice for him. Obviously, you have to kind of stem that a little bit. Blue Spirits is 5-1 right now, so he's also very, very strong and also spiking. See the individual goal between our AD carries here. It's a 1,000 lead between them. Just shot up to 1,500. Yeah. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, but as we mentioned before, it's not always about gold. It's about item spikes. And
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, though. Like, Blue Spirits is 2/3 of the way to a Trinity Force. Like, he's matching item spikes as a Trinity Force AD carry. That's not a good position for KDO to be in. There's definitely been the rightful attention and focus for Munster Rugby Gaming Academy down the bottom side of the map. And it's really up to Afro Boy, who isn't even that much further ahead of No Name, I don't feel, at this point in time. No Name has actually got a farm lead, as you'd expect, on the Nidalee.
Did land a cheeky bubble onto Akka's, but he is a Maokai, so he's pretty hard to pin down. The push has now gone into the mid lane, as all of these tier 1s have now crumbled outside. However, it is a Cogmore. He's got the Archangels, so getting close to just being a wave clearing monster. Once it's that level 11 mark, got the extra range and the extra damage on the Bio Arcane Barrage. So it will be pretty hard to actually deal with the waves. So the Herald could be something we might expect to see these teams play around.
Yeah, I mean, I'd expect the second Herald to be a point of contest for either team, to be honest. It looks like it's being focused up by Munster Rugby Gaming Academy. I don't even know. With KDO on the bottom side of the map, this might just be something that the Barrage leave and let Munster Rugby Gaming get. Remember, getting that top lane in the tier 1 has given them a bit of freedom of movement around the top side of the map. It's allowed them to shove waves in a little bit deeper to the Barrage Academy top side, and that's allowed them a bit more space to get vision control in the blue side jungle, and Barrage just weren't set up for it. They weren't in the right position. The next big objective is going to be the dragon fight, the third dragon in the game, and it's going to be an Infernal Soul. We've had a lot of Infernal Souls, and especially on Ezreal, that's a really, really big soul to have. That's a lot of damage onto Jeppe.
Yep, a lot of damage comes out back from the true shot, but Jeppe does get poked away, and that actually gives some time for Barrage to go and set up the wards and the vision control around this area. D.Va may just find himself a one-shot with the KDO that chains the cleanse. KDO might just die. The heal has to come out to survive from the Ignite burn. Okay, D.Va's hurting.
Oh, he is. It's the Luden spike. This is the one-item spike Zoe, my friend. It's a lot of damage. Love the fact he just used it to stop the backs from Wojak as well. That's just going to allow a bit more time for setup around this dragon for Munster Rugby Gaming.
Means DBL can shove in this top lane as well, so someone will have to go answer that. There's only one minion at the moment, but he'll deal with it.
Triforce available and ready for Blue Spirits at this fight. Huge item spike. Probably the biggest one to play around after maybe after the Death Dance for Ezreal. That is absolutely massive. If Blue Spirits can keep himself safe, and with double summoners we're expecting it to be the case, this is a very easy third dragon in the game for Munster Rugby.
And you can see the poke already coming through. Akers just feels like he has to go in. The Nature's Grasp is on, and the arrow from KDO able to find the kill onto Jeppe. The True Shot Barrage goes wide. An arrow from No Name. Spear from No Name's not there, but the charge is being summoned, and Munster are looking for the fight. Blue Spirits just kiting away from everyone as No Name jumps onto the backline. Blue Spirits finds himself a double kill. Afro Boy getting run through here as DBL gets himself the bear trap on the rope. D.Va answers out for another kill, and Afro Boy goes down. A triple kill for Blue Spirits. And a clean team fight for Barrage. Sorry, for Munster. As Barrage get taken down, and this will be the third dragon for Munster.
What did we just say about the Ezreal spike? The damage that he outputs at this stage in the game, absolutely ludicrous. Plus, he's 2 items spiked super early on as well because of all the kills and gold that was funneled into him. Blue Spirits, we talked about him before the game even started. An AD carry that is quickly and sort of deservedly becoming a name to talk about in the UK scene. And this game kind of proves why. Obviously, I think Munster Rugby, like I said, they're probably the better team overall here. But Blue Spirit's absolutely popping off, and I just feel so happy for him to be in that position because he's such a lovely person, but obviously a great player too.
Just a good punish early. Coming out from when Alpaca was just looking for an early hook, early kind of cheese play on the Nautilus. Misses the hook, gets punished, and just gets run down by Jeppe and Blue Spirits. So now we are still seeing this siege getting started up. No Name has the Herald in his pocket, so they could use that to crack mid lane open. As Alpaca is taking so much damage from Blue Spirits right now.
Oh, I imagine when this guy gets Death's Dance, he's already at the Caulfield's Warhammer. You know, imagine when he gets Death's Dance. Look at the damage he's doing. Oh my god, it's actually just insane.
They can't do anything to him. Chains of Corruption lands to Jeppe. Jeppe just uses the Mikhails and he's out.
Yep. I love that he's got the Mikhails as well because of all the CCS deal. Is D.Va just going to blow up Akers? The Drowsy comes through.
Zoe just solo killed a Maokai. I mean, he is 0-5 and he only has a Null Magic Mantle to go as far as magic resists. And Munster, they are just going to get this turret no problem. They may even look for a little bit more here. I don't know if they've got the wave clear to deal with the charges. D.Va's coming over the wall, gets himself the bubble. The True Shot Barrage comes down, and Afro Boy almost gets popped. We should be seeing a second charge come out from this Herald, unless Alpaca can do a miracle here, but he gets put to sleep.
Oh
KDO
no!
might just get popped.
No!
They're able to find it. It's so rough for them. Munster just sieging.
This is AP Kog'Maw, by the way. He's like a useless mid laner until very, very far into the game. Obviously, the bot lane should have gone better for Munster Rugby Gaming Academy, you feel, but like this is what happens when I mean, picking it so early on in draft as well, like it just isn't that strong. Like everybody was like hyping it up when this patch came out. They're like, oh yeah, like AP Kog'Maw buffs, it's pretty good, yeah. But like it's still AP Kog'Maw. It's still just there to poke and throw out the slip and slide every so often.
We saw it in success last week for M&M. The difference was though, is when they played it, they funneled all the resources into AP Cogmore, because AP Cogmore requires a lot of gold and a lot of time to be relevant and useful. We are still sitting on a Seraph and Magic Pen Boots onto Wojux 20 minutes into the game, where D.Va has got the Ludens, got the Magic Pen Boots, and has almost got a death cap. So Wojux is just miles behind D.Va right now.
It's not even just that, though. It's the fact that if you play an AP Cogmore, you've got to realize that you have to keep tabs on the enemy mid laner. You have to really be keen to prevent or nullify any roams, because AP Cogmore doesn't do that. Like, AP Cogmore's strength is shoving waves and putting pressure on the mid lane tier 1 very early on. And if you're not able to either gain significant advantages because of that, or you're not able to stop the enemy mid laner from roaming, like, then your pick's going to get absolutely torn apart in the early game. And that's exactly what we saw here. Even though he's 0-1-0, he's been involved in absolutely nothing on the map, because he's just done nothing with his game.
Saw them looking for the play there. The teleport actually got interrupted, and now Munster just looking to flip this play on his head. Blue Spirits flashes forward, gets himself a legendary kill. As KDO goes down, it's a double kill picked up by Blue Spirits. Wojux has been caught out underneath his tower, but Munster can just go for the dive if they need to. Wojux has nowhere to go.
They don't have a minion wave to work with, though, so Blue Spirits is going to sit behind the turret. A lot of damage coming through. Akers, ooh, yeah.
He's onto the flank. They're trying to get onto Blue Spirits. The shield comes in from Wojux, and actually Blue Spirits now may just find himself caught out. The Barrage Barrage is big, but Blue Spirits doesn't care. He just shifts under the tower and gets himself the kill. A delayed ace, as KDO has actually spawned up back in time. But Munster just comfortably in control of this game.
Oh, this is over. This is one of those games where you, like, oh my god,
no.
Just disgusting.
They do get themselves the shutdown. The true shot is there by Blue Spirits, but D.Va just flashes over the wall, chains it into another flash. Doesn't even want to go for the kill. He's just going to look for the inhibitor.
Where's the Dragon Soul spawning? They've actually just got a huge amount of time to work with now. I mean, Blue Spirit should be able to do this easily by himself. He'll be able to go back and pick up Death's Dance. He's so close to it anyway, as well as a whole host of other sort of item components you feel. And then I mean, honestly, they don't even need Baron to win, but Baron would be the nail in the coffin. Infernal Soul claimed at 23 minutes into the game, and Barrage really don't have a hope in hell of picking out a win right now.
Ezreal is a champion who uses the Infernal Soul so effectively. Poke comps in general use the Infernal Soul incredibly effectively, and this is what I'm saying. If you get ahead on a poke comp, it feels incredibly oppressive. If you fall behind on a poke comp, it feels horrible to play. And both of these teams opted into a poke comp, and you can see Barrage are paying the price for it. Everybody's trying to find something onto No Name, but True Shot's going to go down as Alpaca lands a hook, and they are looking to try and turn this around, but Alpaca's already been caught out. Akers throws down the Nature's Grasp, and now D.Va's looking to come in over the wall. Blue Spirits continuing to chase here. The Chains of Corruption does go down. They find themselves a hook and a quick shutdown onto the Zoe, but Blue Spirits remains untouched, and he is continuing to pump out the DPS as the charge is being used by DBL. He's looking for the free shot onto KDO. Afroboys to jump away, and another double kill picked up onto the Ezreal. Munster just find another clean team fight, and they're on for Baron.
There's too many threats on Munster Rugby Gaming, and the single target lockdown, the single target DPS is good from Barrage, but you kill the Zoe, there is still 3 other people on the team that are worth considering. Obviously, Jeppe maybe not so much, but Blue Spirits, No Name, and DBL, they're all incredibly strong right now. Like, you can't just hope to kill one of them off in a 5v5 scenario and get the win. And you saw it right there. They blew everything onto killing D.Va in the mid lane, but it really netted them absolutely nothing at the end of the day. They lose the Baron, and surely now you feel with a 13,000 gold differential, this is the last push for Munster Rugby Gaming.
Can Barrage stem the bleeding from this siege? I don't think so. Wojux only just got himself his needlessly large rods. He gets half health by True Shot Barrage. And they are looking for a little pick onto D.Va. D.Va's going to go golden and get taken out. KDO is able to find the kill. That's one member of Baron down. But man, Barrage is going to have to do some serious work to stop this.
You can see they're actually trying to find the flank, but again... Oh! Yeah, forget Zoe. Forget Zoe. Blue Spirits is doing the damage now.
In comes the charge. Blue Spirits gets himself a double kill. The Nature's Grasp will do a little bit, but Wojux with the shield will just fall to the burn. Blue Spirits looks to run KDO down. KDO actually almost turns it back around, but the redemption is there. Oh, this is how scary Ezreal could be as you get later into the game. 17-1. Blue Spirits has probably had the most fun game of competitive League of Legends he's had in a very, very long time. 25 minutes on the clock, 30 kills on the scoreboard. They're looking for a few more glory kills as Alpaca feeds his 10th into the mixer that is Munster. And they look to go for a fountain dive. The game is over. 26 minutes on the clock on the dot, and Munster take the win.
Oh, yeah. It's like, what can you say? What can you say about that one? That one, Jake. That's just another game where it got
off bot lane.
It got out of control really quickly. I mean, that's mid lane Cogmore. At the end of the day, the mid jungle duo of No Name and D.Va, they were just way too influential in the side lanes. And obviously, when you pick mid lane Cogmore, he's not going to roam at the same level that a Zoe is. He's not going to be able to influence those side lane ganks. And honestly, just No Name and D.Va. Yeah, Blue Spirits was the flashy one with the 17 kills. Quite clearly, they had a pretty solid laning phase, but it was the setup from D.Va and No Name that really accelerated this game through the side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the No Name we saw last week. Definitely, just looking incredibly good. D.Va as well. Like you were saying before the game started, you were saying he's potentially one of the best mid laners in the UKLC. Getting to kind of flex what he's made of there as well, but obviously, kind of got to keep in mind that was Barrage, who was second from bottom. So again, it's more about the game tomorrow for Munster, as they are taking on M&M, who are currently at the top of the standings. So tomorrow, we'll start to get some more questions answered about, are Munster bringing this back? Because they're currently in that second group of people tied. Getting a win here does put them up, and they're now continue to be tied with London, but I don't know. It's gonna be all about tomorrow, really, for Munster, to see if they can kind of get back towards the front runners of the UKLC, or if they stay in the middle of the pack. So all to play for, really, for them. But we still have more to go here at the UKLC. Coming up after the break, we actually have an interview with Reclamation. So we'll be back after this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. We actually have an interview with Reclamation, the coach for Munster, after that victory. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
I'll always take a win, so yeah.
Always take a win. Now, obviously, you guys are currently in that kind of middle pack. There's a lot of teams tied up. Did you expect this late in the season to things for kind of tripped on my words there, things to be this close in the standings? Or did you think maybe, there'd be some more defined teams at the top? Or were you kind of prepared for a lot of really talented teams?
I thought that there would be two clear front runners, and that would be Enclave and London, but they've had a few slip-ups in certain weeks against certain opponents. And then I thought that Bulldog would be near the back of the pack, and then the rest were going to kind of be in and amongst each other. So in a way, yes. But I mean, I couldn't predict that there would be upsets from Barrage, for example, against London. And there's other things along the way which make it more entertaining, I guess. So yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the talent that you've got on your team, because I'm particularly excited about Blue Spirits. I think he's a really, I really like it. He's such a lovely guy, but also he's a very talented and hungry AD carry who's obviously, he seems like he's really willing to learn. But it feels like there's a lot of really good individual players in your team that, Diva's commonly called the best mid laner in the league, right? A lot of people would respect him as a mid laner. But I genuinely feel like you've got a lot of really kind of almost hidden talent with the likes of Blue Spirits and even DBL to an extent. So talk to me a little bit about the players in your team, how you went about finding them and how they sort of came together as a roster.
Okay. So prior to this split starting, I sat down with the manager Mulgrew, and we spoke about what we wanted as our aim for this academy roster, and we said that we wanted to take on rookies alongside talent that was already pre-existing to kind of guide them. I had been working in the UKL, and I'd been watching Hasib, or Blue Spirits, alongside Will, No Name, and DBL for week in, week out. And I'd noticed and thought they were really good talents, and they showed more than the level of the UKL at the time. So those are kind of some hot priority targets that I wanted to bring on and develop and really show what they had at a higher level. And then mixing that in with, say, Diva and Jeppe, who have played numerous splits, very vocal, very knowledgeable, that was already existing there. So I didn't really have to coach them the basics and take them through that. And it really did help the new guys being able to develop for the first couple weeks, to find their feet and learn what would be the next step up, really. So, and I'm really happy with them so far. They're all really lovely. They all spend all their time watching the main team. We have an open scenario, so it's very much you can have the main team, they're dropping in, they're learning, talking to Maxlaw, talking to Unforgiven, they're talking basically every day around what they were wanting to play, the roles, little nuances, and it's really great to see that they're really taking advantage of it. So
it's good to hear, actually. So tomorrow you guys are taking on M&M. What's the mindset going into that game? Because M&M have really impressed me, to be honest, as a team, and I'm sure they've probably impressed you as well. What's the mindset going in for tomorrow's game versus M&M? How confident are you guys feeling?
I think in this instance, the loss against M&M partly came from myself in terms of how I set the team up. When we played against them, we didn't really play to what our normal strengths are and what we like to do. So we tried something new, it backfired, didn't work out. So this time I think we'll be going back to more standard for ourselves, but then also still respecting M&M in saying that they are a team that beat us previously, and they are a team that play very well together, and they're more than better than the sum of their parts, really, in many ways.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your win, and thank you for joining us for this quick chat. Now, guys, we are going to be rounding that out here, and we'll be back with our fourth and final game of the day. It's going to be M&M taking on Enclave. This is one you really don't want to miss, so we will see you after the break.